This is Head Bustin' Boxing, and we are back in the house to talk about Canelo Alvarez and him taking on the fight with Billy Joe Saunders. Well, at least it's being reported that that's the case. Now the question is, why all of a sudden is Canelo willing to fight Billy Joe? Now, Saunders has been commanding for the Canelo Alvarez fight for a couple years now. And you hear Canelo fans, by the way, I am a Canelo Alvarez fan. Let me just put that out there so nobody will think this is me picking on Canelo or being biased over what I'm about to say. But it's ironic that all of a sudden Canelo Alvarez is willing to take on Billy Joe Saunders. Why is that? When you think about it, what reason could Canelo have now to take on Billy Joe Saunders? When Billy Joe Saunders made David Lemieux look like an idiot in the ring, he wanted no parts of Billy Joe Saunders. Now, I'll be honest. Billy Joe Saunders has an average, at best, resume. Anybody that says otherwise need to shut up. But Billy Joe Saunders has beaten second-rate contenders like a Willie Monroe, David Lemieux, who is a former champion, Chris Eubanks Jr., who in my opinion anyway, I can't speak for nobody else, in my opinion, who has not lived up to the Eubank name. Sorry, Chris Eubanks Jr. fans, but he has not. So why would Canelo avoid him for so long, especially when he was on a quest to unify and become undisputed at 160? He could have been got that fight out of the way. But now all of a sudden, after he made his American debut, Billy Joe Saunders that is, and looked awful in the process, now all of a sudden Canelo Alvarez would love to get in the ring with him. Does anybody outside of myself find that to be a little peculiar? I'm sure there are others. But I said this a long time ago. I've been saying this at least for the last year, at least publicly, because I've only had a YouTube channel for about that long. But I've been saying it behind the scenes much longer than that. Billy Joe Saunders, now I'm not saying he'll beat Canelo, but he has the type of boxing style that should, would, and could give Canelo Alvarez a ton of problems. And what am I basing that off of? Well, I'm basing that off of Canelo's past opponents. When you look at Canelo Alvarez, when he fought Amir Khan, now clearly he smoked Amir Khan and blew him out the water. And I think that was the 4th or 5th round, with one of the most spectacular knockouts you'll see. But prior to that, Amir was outboxing him. Now, Amir had a speed advantage over Canelo Alvarez. He shows good footwork, and not saying the best, but he has quick feet, can get in and out, and can get away from you. Now, Billy Joe Saunders, now hold on, back to Amir. Now Amir doesn't have the head movement of some of the other fighters I'm about to name, but he definitely has the hand speed and the foot speed to get in and out and hit and not get hit. Well, that's what Billy Joe Saunders does best. Let's look at the Floyd Mayweather Jr. fight. Floyd is an elusive fighter, great head movement. Well, guess what? Billy Joe Saunders has great head movement. Now, Floyd didn't move as much in that fight that most people thought he would have, considering how much bigger Canelo was than him. But Floyd was able to stay in front of Canelo and make him miss. Well, guess what Billy Joe Saunders can do? He can also stand in front of you and make you miss, even as what would be considered a sitting target. He still can make you miss. Let's look at the fight with Laura. Laura used his footwork and his head movement and gave Canelo all kinds of problems. A lot of people thought Canelo lost that fight. So when you look at the people that gave Canelo the most problems in the ring, Floyd Mayweather, Amir Khan, Laura. Those are traits that Billy Joe Saunders can indeed bring to the table. Footwork, head movement, and the ability to block. He doesn't have to run, even though he will. He doesn't necessarily have to run to be elusive. So with all that being said, yes, I think that's a very intriguing fight. Would I love to see Canelo fight Jamal Charlo or Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade? I sure would. I would love to. Matter of fact, I would love to see Billy Joe Saunders get in the ring with those two gentlemen and a Triple G. So, I mean, look, real quick, let me throw this out there because I'm not giving Billy Joe Saunders a pass either when it comes to the Triple Gs, even though him and Frank Warren claimed they tried to make that fight several times and even had a contract signed with Triple G. But I still can't give him a pass for Charlo and Andrade. Why didn't you fight them? But I will say this, the person everybody wants to fight is Canelo because that's where the money's going to come in. When you fight Canelo, he's the golden goose, he's the cash cow. So clearly everybody's gunning for him. But with that being said, back to the topic at hand. I do believe Billy Joe Saunders could give Canelo all kinds of trouble. Now, I'm not saying he'll beat Canelo. Canelo brings a lot to the table too. Matter of fact, offensively, I would say Canelo is well beyond Billy Joe Saunders. But on the defensive end, I think Billy Joe Saunders is on par with Canelo and maybe even above him far as skill set. He has faster feet. Head movement, I'll say, is about the same. Both of them got brilliant head movement. But I think Billy Joe might have a better block game. I'm not sure. I'll say that might be a toss-up. But as far as footwork goes, I would have to give it to Billy Joe, even though I do think Canelo is a little bit underrated when it comes to footwork and elusiveness using his feet. But I think Canelo is better served coming forward than Billy Joe Saunders is, even though we did see Billy Joe Saunders finally sit down on his punches and try to take his opponent out with the knockout in this last fight because he had to. He was losing, he knew he was losing, or at the very least he knew he was in a close fight and he had to go out there and get it, and he did do that. But it's ironic that Canelo Alvarez is coming out to take on Billy Joe Saunders finally, when you could say probably his worst performance, I'll say it like this, the worst performance I've seen him have, and I've watched, I'll say, about 6 or 7 of his fights. So, but I do think it'll be interesting. If the fight does go down, I'll be checking it out. And I might even do a film breakdown on the two guys' styles to see why I do believe Billy Joe Saunders could give Canelo all kinds of problems. If Billy Joe Saunders keep it as a boxing match, I feel like it's 50-50. I know a lot of people don't want to hear that, but I really do believe what Billy Joe brings to the table. If you got an in-shape Billy Joe Saunders, and that ain't guaranteed, that's why I said an if. If you got an in-shape Billy Joe Saunders who's focused and ready to come in there and do what he got to do, I think he could give Canelo problems. Now, Canelo don't have those type of issues. He's always in shape. He's always ready to fight. Now, whether he fades down the stretch, that's another subject. But at the end of the day, this is a fight I've been calling for since last year, and that's when I started my channel. Like one of my first earlier videos that I made was dealing with Billy Joe Saunders versus Canelo Alvarez. And that's pretty much all I got. This is Head Busting Boxers Fight Doctor. Hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Hit me up in the comment section. Let me know, are you interested to see Billy Joe Saunders versus Canelo Alvarez? I'm thrilled. The only fights that I would prefer to see over this with Canelo would be Charlo or Andrade. But as far as I'm concerned, I can live with this. I do not want to see him fight Triple G again. But anyway, that's pretty much all I got. This is Head Busting Boxers on Fight Doctor. I am out.